Hello and welcome to drillingcontractor.org. This is Kelly Ainsworth Robinson at the 2018 SPE ICOTA conference in the Woodlands, Texas. NOV is here showcasing the Genesis coiled tubing platform in a new unit. I'm here with Norm Fosham, Director of Engineering, to hear more. How are you doing today, Norm?
Very good, thank you.
Can you give us an overview of NOV's Genesis platform and the drivers for developing it?
Genesis platform is a new product line that we're just introducing now. This is the first display of this equipment at ICOTA here. And so it is designed to be the equipment that can go into the marketplace with demanding the longer tubing strings, the heavier tubing loads required for the deep and long lateral wells that are typical in the marketplace right now. So it's been quite an evolution to get to the ability to handle that length of tubing.
And the unit is designed so that it can carry these heavy loads but still be within permitting requirements in most basins. How is this achieved and what basins can the unit be used in?
The biggest challenge in carrying this big tubing load is the fact that it needs to be able to be operated in multiple locations, and that with a 25,000 foot or longer tubing string on it, it presents some real logistical problems to be able to get to the well site safely and to be able to perform the job functional and be able to be flexible enough to be operated in multiple locations. In this design, this is the first of the Genesis units that is being put in the display. And just to put it in context, what you see on this tubing reel is 22,000 feet of 2 3/8 inch coil tubing. If you laid that out on the ground, that's over 4 miles of tubing that has to be spooled up onto the unit in a space of about 14 feet wide, 14 feet high, and 14 feet long. So it's a very significant challenge for operator safety, for unit functionality, and to be able to get the job done and then back into a situation that can be transported on the public roads. The units right now are focused on the Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Wyoming, North Dakota areas, and those are controlled by specific regional regulations on weights and permits and physical sizes. So to make a unit that can handle all of those, potentially with different tubing loads on it, is a key to this market right now.
And this unit behind us is able to supply both hydraulic and electric power. What are the benefits of having access to both types?
Most of the coil tubing units in the marketplace right now are powered hydraulically. But how you control the units can be either be with hydraulic valves, as most of the typical units are now, or they can be electrically controlled. And in this unit, what we have is a combination of hydraulic and electric controls. The electric controls give the ability to provide an increased controllability of the unit and also to be able to operate safely in more stringent requirements. It also gives the ability to incorporate some other features that we have that are typical in industry, but now are coming into the coiled tubing marketplace, and that's things like the predictive maintenance, the ability to do finer control on the equipment, to be able to get down to the positions where they can be managed for the milling operations or for the intervention work. So this unit is a combination of electric and hydraulic controls. The next version of the Genesis unit, which will be on display previewed in Houston at the time of ICOTA, is a larger version of this trailer with a much different control cabin as well, and it'll be full electric controls in the control cabin, providing those capabilities to adapt it and grow it into other operations.
Where has the Genesis platform been deployed so far, and what performance have you seen?
This model of unit has been in operation in the U.S. now for over a year. It incorporates many of the features that have been in operation on other hydro-rig units for many years. So it's a combination, a stepping stone towards the next generation of the Genesis platform. The feedback on this is that although it's different, it may look the same, but under the skin of this unit there's a lot of differences that aren't visible from standing beside the unit and looking at it. And so getting to that next level is something that the operators and the service staff need to be aware of and be able to manage efficiently, know what to do if something is operating differently. And that's put an increased requirement on NOV, on hydro-rig, to be able to support that, to train the people on it. Although it looks the same, some of the operations of it are different. So if people go into it, if the operators go into it and don't realize what's different, it's not going to work the way it's intended to work. The areas where we've seen the most growth, the most acceptance on it, are on the fact that we're incorporating new technology into the unit. And that's the stepping stone to the even more advanced units, which will provide the increased capabilities in the unit and display in Houston in a month from now.
What's the next step for this technology?
The units that we're designing right now have the capability for 110,000 pounds, 120, 130,000 pounds of tubing. The next step is how do we go beyond that? And 140,000 pounds of tubing is now the normal requirement. But we don't want to be just able to get there because we know that, as every other coil tubing unit has been, when we think we're at the limit of how big it's going to be and how much capacity it has to have, whether it's the next year or sooner, we need more. And so the unit on display that will be on display at OTC has the capability actually for 160,000 pounds of tubing. So that gives the operator the ability to know that the capacity is there for special applications or for the next requirement when the tubing requirement is even bigger than what we know today.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Norm.
Thanks for coming and seeing the unit.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.